Once upon a time, there was a personal development geek called Alice. Alice would quit if not given the lead in a school play or if demoted to the B team in sport. She had this cringingly warped sense of being better than she was and better than others. And that meant that Alice found it impossible to accept that others could be more suited or skilled than her without feeling worse about herself. And compounding this embarrassment was the idea that such a snub would make people like you make her think that she was less good than she actually was. So it wouldn't take a genius to guess that Alice is actually me. But I'm relieved to say that all grown up, I'm a lot more resilient to setbacks like those than I was when I was younger. And that's pretty lucky, because they get a lot scarier than not being Annie in the school play, right? And so here you find me tonight, defiant, a little bit drenched, after weathering what has been perhaps the toughest storm of my life and career to date. But it's an experience that's made me proud about how resilient I've become and how much smaller my ego is, now all grown up. So I'll cut to the chase. 2.5 years ago, I joined Deliveroo, and a year into my role now, we've decided to hire someone in more senior to do the role that I've been doing, a director for the region where I have been the lead. Let's call a spade a spade. That is not a good look for an ambitious person. And let's be completely honest, it felt like a real kick in the teeth. Rationally, I got it. We needed a different person for a different time of the business, but my ego was pissed and my chimp was really upset. This is where the teenage Alice would have jumped ship. But lucky for me, 3 years ago, I found this amazing thing called personal development. And it changed my world in ways that I can't even describe. Personal development for me is the journey to knowing ourselves to be our best selves for as much of the time as possible. And the power of personal development has literally transformed my life in ways that I don't have time to explain to you right now. But in this scenario, it made me acutely self-aware so that I could challenge my chimp and talk down my ego and stay at Deliveroo. I was able to adopt a positive outlook. And that doesn't mean I haven't had moments of despondency. In fact, I've had loads. But the thing is that I understand now that that's just part of the process. I'm able to be honest about it, I'm able to talk about it, and I'm able to let the shame go in a way that I wasn't before. So what fundamentally can I tell you about resilience from this story? Well, I'm going to tell you another little one. And it's the night that I found out about all of this, and I went home to cry to my mum, and I spoke to my 7-year-old neighbour, Matilda. And I don't know about you, but there is something that telling a little kid about something that puts things into perspective, right? So I'm telling her and trying to make it in language that she'll understand. So I explain it's like not being Mary or the angel in a school play. And I said, sometimes you don't get to be the angel, you get given the shepherd. And sometimes it sucks, but you have to dust yourself off, get back on the stage, and try again. That just because something doesn't happen the way you want it, the way you planned it, doesn't mean that it's wrong or it's bad. In fact, it might actually be the blessing in disguise that you didn't even know it could be. And she's nodding and she's thinking, and you can see her eyes darting around. You know how kids, when you can literally see the cogs turning in her head. And she's starting to get it. And then the night comes to an end and she's heading off to go downstairs. And she comes over and she gives me a kiss on the cheek. And she says, Alice, thank you for telling me that story. I really appreciated it. And I really hope that you have a decent week at work, because I know it's going to be really tough. So I just want to leave you with a little thought. She's really precocious. She actually did say this thing that I'm about to tell you. She goes, first off, remember, sometimes it's good to be a shepherd, and all you can do is be the best bloody shepherd that you can possibly be. And then she turns to me and she says, with this mischievous little grin on her face, she goes, and don't forget, if you ever get really pissed off about being the shepherd, just be grateful you're not the donkey. Thank you.